Episode 5, Where You Belong. When we arrived at the Brahmin's house, Lima was already there waiting for us. When she saw us come in, she threw her arms around my neck. She didn't say a word. I knew she must have been worried when she heard about my disappearance. "And who's this?" She pointed at the man whom Killian and Rattan were dragging in behind them. "He attacked Amala." "You were attacked?" I squeezed her hand. The door creaked and an elderly man came out of the house.
"Ah, here you are. Abby, how are you here with them?"
Do they know each other? Killian didn't understand Bengali and the Brahmin didn't speak English. Yes, they called him by his name. Do you know each other?
"How can I not know my own son?"
He attacked her to force her into my Thuna.
"What? Abby, is this true?"
I had to, it was time.
"I don't know what to say, son. Ritual Mahathuna is impossible if you're coercing someone. You know that perfectly well. Let him go. Abby, go to the home shrine and wait for me there. Beg Mother to forgive you for your offense. Such a serious offense."
I repeated his words to Killian. He was surprised, but listened and let Abhay go. The man walked away, heading somewhere on the grounds behind the house. He looked lost and upset. The Brahmin turned to speak to us.
"My name is Mahaver. I know you well, Ratan Vaish. Who are your guests?"
This is Amala, Lima, and Killian. They're British.
"Amala, you're not from here."
No, but my family is from India. My last name is Khan.
"And where were you born?"
In London.
"Interesting.
The Brahmin nodded again and looked me up and down.
You look disheveled. Did my son do this?"
Yes.
"Coercion. Very serious offense. It's painful to know that my own blood, my son, has done this to you."
He waved his hand.
"Come, I'll boil some water for you to wash up."
He nodded at Rattan.
"His house doesn't have proper living conditions."
I don't live there.
"I know. I also have some women's clothes. When someone becomes a widow, she gives her belongings to others. As a Brahmin, I am often given gifts. I don't need saris, but I don't throw them away. Who knew they were waiting for you?"
The men stayed outside while I washed myself. There were no rooms in the house. I was hidden only by a simple old curtain. Having finished as quickly as possible, I changed my clothing. Decorated. Embroidered. Plain. I like the embroidered one. It does look pretty. And I fixed my hair. Locks. Very long hair. Short hair. I'm gonna go with short hair and then change my hair back to what it was. Hold on. I felt better afterwards. When we all gathered in the house, Mahaver looked at us and his gaze heavy.
"You've been waiting for me. What do you need?"
I explained to him the reason for our visit and mentioned the murder. He sighed.
These are our village's affairs. You shouldn't meddle."
I touched the Brahmin's hand, looking at him with pleading eyes. Please. He slightly flinched when he felt my touch.
"You finally came here.
Finally. We were waiting for you, not the other way around.
So the owls. Is it true?
He glanced at Rattan, and the guide nodded.
I see. So serious.
Lima was studying Mahavir, his behaviors and facial expressions.
Still, it's good you're here.
The Brahmin looked into my eyes.
Right where you belong. I understand you wish to know everything. I won't keep you waiting. It's natural for a child to yearn for her mother.
I was confused, suddenly remembered my vision in the forest and the woman who beckoned me. Did he feel something right now when I touched him? I'm definitely not this from his chest. I don't have that power. However, when I touched Mr. Rose's body, I saw something too. I probably should ask him about it.
Sanji's murder 23 years ago when the Dubays came here to investigate. Wasn't the first. If you count the primordial Vaishnav, it was the second.
What's wrong? Killian didn't understand the Brahmin, but was watching me closely. The primordial Vajna, a ritual?
Yes, the first blood that sprinkled the earth and marked the beginning. The beginning of everything.
What?
I'm surprised you don't know.
The Brahmin exchanged glances with Rattan again.
So it's not the time yet.
Why are they looking at each other? This is getting old. Hey, I'm still here, and I really want to know what you mean.
If he lets me, I'll tell you.
How much influence does Rattan really have? Why are they looking at each other? The Brahmin is asking him what he can or can't tell me. Bayi, should I throw you out of here? Lima whispered to Killian and me. The Brahmin is asking permission for a reason. He's scared. His quick glances, he's watching Rattan fearfully.
The primordial Vajna was the start of everything that's happening now in Calcutta. It all started with the blood on our cliff. It always starts with blood.
Ah, this is from the diplomat's diary, from my vision. Something very familiar. I'll go with diplomats. No. I'll go with the vision. I guess? Or not. I definitely heard something about a bloody cliff. Oh, of course, it was in the diplomat's diary. Damn it! I should have went with my intuition. He wrote about it. How could I not remember? Your memory failed you. Listen, it's been months. Leave me alone. I grasped the fabric of my sorry, a little anxious, but I still asked. Mr. Mahavir.
Gods forbid, I'm no mister.
I'm sorry. Did another British man visit the village before us a few weeks ago?
No one visited here for a very long time. People used to come here often, especially when Clipagrami was under the protection of two influential families. Now, one of them is gone and the other one doesn't have the time. The Dubays are busy with something more important than us.
The Dubays and someone else? That man Sanji was killed during a ritual, right?
Yes. He became number 1.
They are numbered in Brahmi, aren't they? The first, the second...
That's right, girl.
So there are 6 of them in total.
You seem very drawn to this topic. You have a very inquisitive mind.
Yes, I'm interested. What's happening here is unique. I want to figure it out. Even if it scares me a little.
Anyway, that's all I know. It's all that is not our concern anymore. If you want to find out what's going on in Calcutta, you need to ask those who are directly involved.
You mean Rattan? Those who are directly involved. As I've learned, that's not Rattan, not the guide. Nobody knows. There are two options left, the cult or the Dubés. But should I even ask Mahavir? What if he refuses to answer? Ask him anyway. I have one question. Do you know who's behind this? The Dubé family or some kind of cult?
What is your question? Do you want to know who's involved in Calcutta murders or in the disappearance of your diplomat?
The latter. After all, that's why we're here.
Then I advise you to look closely at the Dubés. Nothing happens in Calcutta without their knowledge.
You learned useful information. I was right to think it was them. The Dubés are involved in the diplomat's disappearance, or at least know something about it. One more question. Did you see something when I touched you?
No. I felt it. I felt... energy.
And can you see the past if you touch someone or something? He stared at me for a while. My colleagues seemed concerned by how confused he looked.
No. That isn't normal.
Right. So we're not normal. What else is new?
That's all I have to say.
We got up, ready to leave. My colleagues walked out, but I was last leaving the house. On the door, Mahavir took my hand. He looked straight into my eyes and whispered,
"Beware of Vaish, child. He isn't as simple as he looks."
What do you mean? I know that he was something to do with...
That's not what I mean. It's like he's different. No living person has such inner tranquility. Sometimes he would spend weeks in the village, and I've never seen him grow a stubble. How can that be? Not to mention the lack of wrinkles.
After all, even Killian's face has grown a little stubble over these 2 days. Alright, thank you. Do you know who he really works for? Or who he is?
He's the one who maintains order. Be vigilant.
That's why everybody has to look to him for permission. Soon after, we returned home. Ooh, dark owls with glowing red eyes. We had a simple dinner and settled down for the night. Rattan said that he had some business to attend to and then left once again. Clearing the table, Lima groaned. He was weird, that Brahmin. Why? I was watching him. He didn't take his eyes off you and looked at you too closely. I'm not sure he was always honest in answering your questions. I'm not surprised. And he was really scared of Rattan. He tried to appear calm, but his body language betrayed him. I didn't tell my colleagues whose fault it was that I ended up in Calcutta. I wanted to figure everything out by myself. It was scary for me to sleep alone in that bedroom. On top of everything else, now I was so afraid of Rattan. Because of his orders, I was forced to take part in this investigation and sent to Calcutta. How did he know about me? Why would he need me? How do I talk to him now? Who is he? My questions tormented me. It was hard to fall asleep thinking about the previous night someone had got in through the window and cut off a lock of my hair. However, there was nothing I could do. I didn't want to bother my colleagues. Before going to bed, I carefully checked the windows and doors to make sure everything was locked. Only after doing so, I managed to close my eyes. Rattan returned before breakfast. Since the Brahmin's arrival, the fog has lifted a little. The phone connection has also become better. I managed to get through to the driver, but he refuses to come back. What do we do then? It's okay. My agency will send a car for us. We're not going to stay here. They'll have to drive for at least 4 hours. Yes, we'll have to wait. I'll come back for you when the driver arrives. And what are you going to do in the meantime?
I still have a few things to take care of.
He left the house, heading somewhere else. He's disappearing again. Where is he always going? Should I follow him? We need to talk, clear things up first, but I'll see where he's going. I want to take a walk. Oh, Amala, wouldn't it be better for you to stay at home after what happened yesterday?
I agree. Stay here, Amala, otherwise I'll have to come with you.
You know what? No, I'll stay near the house. I won't go anywhere far.
Okay then, but I'm serious. Please be careful.
I went outside. I was going to answer the other one, but I could feel several stares following me around the village. A bad omen, and yet they're staring so intently. Turning my head, I noticed Raton disappeared into the forest. I felt a little uneasy thinking of going back there, but I followed him anyway. For a while, he just kept walking, without turning around, without stopping, as if nothing bothered him. The deeper we went, the more clearly I could hear a noise in the distance. Raton stopped all of a sudden and turned around. I stiffened, quickly hiding behind a tree trunk. He disappeared behind the trees again. Did he see me? Probably. I waited for a moment or two, then I kept walking, following that noise. I suddenly came across a small waterfall in the thickest part of the forest. It was fresh, sunny here. Clothes were piled near the shore. Raton was standing in the water, naked up to his waist, bathing his face in the sunlight. His wet, dark hair clung to his skin as droplets of water trickled down his slender body. Did he come here to bathe? Damn it, I feel like a fool. What did I even want to achieve by following him in secret? I need to have been straightforward, honest conversation with him. Disappointed, I decided to go back. If I remember yesterday's path correctly, that altar should actually be around here. It's probably worth going to have a look at. I wonder if my lock of hair is still there. I turned around and left. I found myself in that part of the forest again. My gaze immediately fell on the makeshift altar that was now etched in my memory. My head started to ache. Damn, my head's killing me and my neck and back hurt so much. Do I need to see something again, or am I just getting old before my time? I tried to stretch my neck, but the heaviness and fatigue didn't go away. Sighing wearily, I pushed myself to go further. I can see you're feeling unwell again. I jumped at the sound of his voice, turning around sharply. God, you scared me. I thought that crazy guy was back.
Abby, he'll never lay a hand on you again. Trust me.
What are you doing here? Are you following me?
It's funny. You would ask me that.
I knew it.
I knew right away that you were going to the altar.
My bones ache. Why do I always feel unwell in this forest? Do I need to see something again?
No. It's just that many different things happened here. Some were evil and cruel.
Explain what happened to me. He sighed.
A lot of blood was shed during local rituals. There was fear, suffering in the blood, and it's endowed with strong energy. It's still everywhere here, on trees, branches, ground, even the blood that was spilled years ago. You can feel it, and they feel you too. That's why it's so hard for you to be here.
They? Who are you talking about?
All those killed in this forest over the years. The distorted part of the soul of everyone who died a violent death, that part that didn't find peace. They are scared or furious. These strong feelings are looking for someone alive in their death to cling to.
But I'm not involved in that.
I wouldn't say that.
How do you know about this? Do you feel it too, or see it?
I see it clearly.
What exactly do you see? Me? Them? You don't want to know. Raton stared at me, a trace of regret in his eyes. I could only guess at what he was seeing. Oh. A lot of different spirits all around us. Okay. Take my arm. You'll feel better. I obeyed, and after a few moments, the pressure in my chest seemed to diminish slightly. I immediately remembered the Brahmin's words. A strange aura of inner tranquility. What exactly did he mean? We arrived at the altar. He never said an aura. Just saying. Oh, my lock of hair. It was gone. Someone took it. It's bad when a part of you is in the hands of a person who knows the art of rituals. So what should I do now? I'll take care of it. Let's get out of here. Raton, why did you bring me to Calcutta? Please answer me. All in due time. You just need to be here. I sighed heavily. After a while, the new driver arrived and we all got ready to leave. The man had just opened the doors of his car for us when we heard a heart-wrenching cry of pain. The three of us turned around, startled. Two men were carrying a body wrapped in white sheet. The old man was following them, weeping bitterly. Mahavar? The Brahmin spoke loudly to call out to all the villagers.
Abe, my son, he hanged himself right in front of the shrine of the Mother Goddess. My blood, wishing to atone for his sin, consumed by shame.
The women around them were sighing ruefully, the men wailing, the children craning their necks, startled. I froze in fear, watching the body being carried somewhere further away, probably to a funeral pyre.
May Mother take him into her arms. May the flame lift him up and cleanse him of the crushing burden of sin. May she accept his sacrifice, otherwise my suffering will kill me too. Whose hair did he take? Whose lock of hair was in his mouth?
The Brahmin started looking around, his eyes glazed. I instantly realized whose hair he was talking about. Was it really Abe who built the altar and put my hair there? And then... But the villagers didn't look surprised. Some of them looked at me harshly. It was as if they knew about the altar. I shuddered with fear and disgust. Killian's large hand lay on my shoulder. Please don't blame yourself. He did something terrible and decided to punish himself. I know, but it's so scary. Raton watched the body being carried away. His somber words got stuck in my head. Owls are mute messengers from the realm of the dead. When there are many of them, it's never a good sign. With these words, he turned away. We got in the car and drove to Calcutta in complete silence. I arrived in the city in the evening. The light was on in the house and my hosts were still awake. When I walked inside, he was surprisingly noisy. One of the voices was painfully familiar. Oh, it's Kieran. I immediately rushed in the living room where I found my brother. Kieran! Amala! My younger brother came up to me and I immediately rushed to hug him. The boy grimaced, but I knew perfectly well that he was just as happy to hug me, but didn't want to show it. You're finally here. When did you arrive? This afternoon, but you weren't home. I got stuck at work. I'm not here alone. My brother stepped aside, and just then I noticed a stranger in the room. Hello, man with gun holsters. Oh, I'm sorry, are you Mr. Grant? Yes. Please call me Gabriel. I completed my assignment and escorted your brother here. And then I decided to stay here until you arrived. Well, thank you very much. You're welcome. It was very responsible of you to take good care of him. Oh, thanks to a choice you made earlier, your relationship has improved. The cook is at the table. I'll ask her to add a plate for you, Amala.
I'll help Kieran get settled in his bedroom.
Please give him one closer to mine, if possible. Amala.
Of course. Let's go find you a nice room.
The teenager picked up his things and followed Mr. Kahan. Priyanka went to the dining room. I met Gabriel's eyes. He smiled. Well, thanks again for your help. I'll see you at work. Could you stay for a moment? Oh, what for? For a personal conversation. All right. He nodded and took a step closer. He looked around, making sure that we were alone. I gathered from the reports that the case is very complicated. The murder of a member of an emergency task force is an unprecedented situation. I'm determined to complete this task in the shortest possible time. Emmerich Rose wrote in his reports that you could become a problem. What? I don't know why you're at odds, but I'm asking you to behave properly with me. He was the problem, not me. Rose is dead, and yet he still gives me trouble even from beyond the grave. I couldn't even meet my brother because I was focused on work. I see. Gabriel was watching me closely, and the corners of his mouth twitched. I hope we'll work together efficiently, then. It's been a long time since I've worked with women. I'll see you at the embassy tomorrow, then. Gabriel's pleased that you were willing to make time for him. Grant said goodbye and left the house. I sank onto the sofa, wearily trying to catch my breath. Oh, yes, how do I explain to him everything that's going on with our case? That might take a while. Better to let Killian. Just saying. I leaned back on the sofa, closing my eyes, and started to relax. But then, my fingertips began to tingle and my body suddenly grew weak. The feeling was way too familiar. Who's there? A shadow flickered on the wall. Let me guess. It's Abhay. He's come here to say hi. I'll go with 4 on this one. Alright, we got 1 independence, 0 loyalty, 3 respect, 9 rage, and we gained 2 kindness of the goddess. Let's go get those diamonds. But before we do that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description of the video for links to check out ways to support the channel and ways to become more of an intricate part of this family and this community that we have here. With that being said, as I said, I am sticking to my guns, and I am getting things done, especially with this app, let alone these books and chapters and whatnot, a lot more often. So, again, if you are enjoying what I'm doing, I know I'm, air quote, officially behind, but eventually, one day, I would like to try and catch up and cover new things, as I've tried to do with a couple of the books that are on this app. One has not been updated since November. They said that they were going to do a December update, and now it's been postponed even further. I'm hoping maybe they'll do something in January, but it's been a couple months, and we've been waiting for some of those updates. It was the one where, it was the I'm trying to remember, Live, Sin, Evil, something. It was that book that hasn't been updated in a couple months, actually, and I'm kind of sad by that, because I actually kind of enjoyed that book. But we'll have to see. Once again, thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.